Hello, I'm Justine Willis-Toms. Welcome to the New Dimensions Cafe. Today I'm hosting J.J. Flowers, author of The Spiritual Dog, Emissary of Unconditional Love and Healing. Welcome, J.J., to the New Dimensions Cafe.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's my pleasure. I'd love for you to tell us about your energetic and spiritual connection with dogs. What is the special connection between humans and dogs?
It's ancient. It goes back to our beginning. I believe that it of course started with the wolves, where the wolves probably noticed these two-legged creatures wandering around Earth. They began watching them hunt. They were impressed. They started following them and perhaps helping them. Pretty soon, the wolves were leading the humans to the prey, and the humans and the wolves became Earth's most powerful predator. You can see how that happened, and it probably happened hundreds of thousands of times throughout our evolutionary history. And humans have always been, from our earliest time, they've been joined by canines.
I know that you write about how we have a telepathic connection with our dogs.
Well, most people who love dogs have experienced this. If you start thinking about it, you realize it's a phenomenal connection. Your dog actually knows you better than you know yourself. As soon as we start loving on our dogs, we start syncing our energy systems. Let me begin with the earth is an energy system. Our bodies are very complicated energy systems. The chakra systems feeding into the auric field. Dogs have not the same chakra system, but a very similar one. And as soon as we start living on them, our energy systems start synchronizing. And there's a really powerful exchange of energy, beginning with the root chakra, working the way up to the heart chakra, where dogs amplify, they deliver and amplify unconditional love. And this connection, energetic connection, is very powerful. Everyone who experiences it knows this. There's nothing like the love we have for our dogs. It's a very special relationship.
Well, when it seems like the dogs are really loving us, are you saying that they really are loving us?
Oh my God, yes. Dogs are from the angelic realm, a dimension that holds unconditional love. And for human beings, anyone who's experienced unconditional love knows it's an energetic force. This might be news to people, but it's what makes the world go round. So we give it to dogs, and dogs definitely, it's reciprocated.
And you also talk about how dogs mirror our emotional state. In fact, they can smell our emotional state and they mirror it. So sometimes when maybe our dog is misbehaving, maybe you suggest that we look at ourselves.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's it. The chakra system sync, the root chakra, this has to do with our home. We bring that puppy, that beautiful bundle of energy into our home. We start loving on them. We provide them with food and shelter. They start protecting us. Then there's on the dog's body, they have the reproductive chakra, but we usually fix our dog so that one is gone. But the next one, the emotional one, that's very powerful because when humans are in our love and laughter and joy, when we're vibrating, experiencing that, our dogs will experience that too, and they amplify it. So everything's good. And the only problem is when we're in negative emotions, when we're anxious or fearful or angry. Dogs are able to absorb an awful lot of these negative emotions. They actually transmute them. They diminish them in our bodies. It's one of their gifts to us. But if it's too much, it will result in a behavioral problem in the dog or disease.
Something you wrote has to do with when dogs really love our laughter, and sometimes when we're laughing at something they're doing some antic or doing something that's funny to us, and we start laughing, they might do it even more because they love to hear our laughter.
Yeah, laughter is a vibration of joy. It's like, think of love. Love is an energy. It's not a feeling, it's an energy. And love has an infinite number of octaves going right up to God's source light. God is the energy of love and creation. Everything is of God, and God is also the energy of love. So, in the same way, joy is a vibration, and laughter just lifts us right into the vibration of joy. Joy and love are very close companions. This is our very human experience. But if you've had the fortune of a dog who is a comedian. I had a dog that was a comedian, and every time we laughed, she would look at us like, and then she would realize that we were laughing at her, and she would repeat whatever it was that triggered our laughter. It was, one time I'll tell you a story with this dog. Her name was Osea. She was my favorite dog. She was a beautiful black and white Lancier Newfoundland. And we were in a park and watching the sunset from a beautiful place to watch sunsets. And there was like 50 people there gathered around watching the sunset. And this one lady was wearing a poodle skirt right out of the 50s. She bent over to get a drink of water. And Osea slipped her head right under the poodle skirt, like, to what's going on up here? So everybody burst out laughing. And the lady lifted up from getting the drink and looked around like, what are people laughing at me for? And Osea pulled her head right back. So she gave the lady the most innocent look, like, not me, So the lady went right back into the drinking the water, and Osea put her head right back under the poodle skirt, and people fell over laughing. And she did it because she knew they were laughing at her. And it was
Oh,
fun. Yeah.
that's wonderful, wonderful story.
My husband, John, was a phenomenal therapist. He was, famous. People came from all over to have therapy with him. He had a wait list a mile long, but he did get this one client, a young woman who was raped at knife point, and he just practiced cognitive behavioral short-term therapy. So he was working with this woman, and he was making progress, but it was very slow. And meanwhile, she was so afraid. She was afraid to go supermarket shopping. So he was telling me this, and I just thought, because I've always had Newfoundlands, and when you're walking with a Newfoundland, you are not afraid of
These
it.
are huge dogs, aren't they?
Yeah,
Muscular and huge.
yeah, they're the strongest of all the canines, but the thing about it, they're the gentle giants. They literally have no aggression. My Newf would sit, well, I remember more than once she would get attacked. She would literally sit down and wait for the other dog to exhaust themselves because they just don't fight back. But anyway, I knew I was never afraid. I would walk in the Tenderloin at night and I wouldn't think a thing. But so I said, John, tell her to go out and get a big dog. And we thought of, one of the dogs that are really protective are those beautiful mastiffs. And so he suggested that. He actually went with her and got the puppy. And from that day, that she was not, she, the last we heard, she was on her second incarnation of that dog. And it was a cure because dogs, when they, it's one of their many gifts, many gifts to us. Puppies are always a great answer to grief, but grief is a spiritual passage. It's one of the most powerful spiritual passages available to us humans. And after that tumultuous year where I lost my wonderful husband and our beautiful son, Jean Paul, I was walking in grief, and my guidance began showing me how grief is a spiritual passage. And then when I began writing this book and I began getting information on the spiritual aspect of dogs, I began understanding the grief process that we go through with our dogs. And what I'd like to share with people is what dogs have, as a AC, what dogs have communicated to me about that and what my guidance has said. And dogs, all animals are from the angelic realm. They hold unconditional love. And when a dog is ready to go, when they transition, they have said to me that it is very much like dropping an old coat and stepping into the light, because dogs don't exist in separation like humans do. Humans, we spend a lot of our time separated from God's source light. Well, we're never separated, but we're not aware of God's source light. Dogs do not have that problem. So they step back into the light where they're with their soul buddies, and they are, it's a beautiful homecoming scene. And then, as time goes on, the days, they look back, dogs will look back at their owners wanting to connect in their love. And what they see is the grief, the sadness, the missing, the longing, that powerful longing that we get. And they don't understand it because the way they see it, and we can learn so much from this, is that they had this wonderful life with you. It was filled with fun and adventures and so much love. They see how much love you made with them, that how this love changed them and it changed you. And it is something to celebrate. In this spiritual realm, they're like, woohoo, what a great deal. Whereas, so, and what they would like us to know is that when we can move our grief to a celebration, to the gratitude that we got this beautiful gift for those 10 to 15 years we had them in our life. When we move to gratitude, that's when we reconnect to their love, because their love is forever. It doesn't go anywhere. It's right there. It's all around you.
Oh, how lovely. You know, as we walk our dogs, besides getting us off the couch and getting us out into the world, they're experiencing the environment in a much different way than we are. So we can learn a lot about where we live just by watching how our dog reacts to the environment.
Animals are connected to nature in a way it's another thing we can learn from them. And that's when you transition. A lot of people understand this now, but not as many people really think about this. But when you transition, you will look back at the times you were walking your dog as the best part of your life, because there you are out in nature in the beautiful day, the trees, the plants, the flowers. You're enjoying what Earth has to offer us in a way that you probably wouldn't have been if you didn't have that dog.
I just want to thank you so much, JJ, for being part of New Dimensions Cafe today. I'm so grateful for all your work and helping us to understand this very special relationship between ourselves and our dog companions. I've been speaking with J.J. Flowers, author of The Spiritual Dog, Emissary of Unconditional Love and Healing. And if you want to learn more about her work, you can go to her website, jjflowersbooks.com, or you can get there through the New Dimensions website, newdimensions.org, where you'll find more than 2,000 programs in our archive. I'm Justine Willis Toms. I want to thank you for joining us at the New Dimensions Cafe, and I invite you, please do join us again.